and welcome to Integrated Awakenings. And today we are doing an energetic realms tour, guides, and union integration episode. Now, honestly, this is prep for the divine marriage episode. And I know there's a lot of beef around marriage, relationships, the archetype of like the mom and dad. But Spirit really told me that essentially it's about union. It's about weaving, it's about integrating energies that seemingly are separate. And the thing is, what we've been doing this whole time with the shadow work episode, with the inner child episode, with the mom and dad episode, and even the recollection of our missing parts when I was doing the energetic tours, right? Demos, we're essentially just recalling back our divine self in a sense that our divine self doesn't experience as much separation as our perceptive egoic persona selves. You see what I'm saying? So basically, you have a circle of what you think includes you, and we're just trying to stretch it. Yeah, we're stretching it to these big archetypes, these bigger energies, and we're making your system get used to entertaining the idea that that is also me, right? We're trying to hold that energy. And on a mechanical level, this is kind of what you do when you're building your light body. So for people who are new to that idea, basically, when we're trying to reach for certain subtleties of energy, so for example, source energy, we're not doing it with our hand. Yeah, we're doing it with an energy of ours, a subtle energy of ours that you kind of build up, / turn on, / transfigure. Yeah, and that part of your body is what reaches God or source. You see what I'm saying? So when we're trying to reach other dimensions, it's really like a phase state and your energetic device that's doing it. That's attuning, a training to it. Yeah. And that's why we're so hellbent, or at least I am. That's why I'm so hellbent with you building that device. Yeah. That vehicle. If you listen to like Buddhist texts, that's what they're referring to as your vehicle. Because it's like the gym, right? So if you want to squat that PR, you need to build the muscles for that. So it's like, if you really do want to reach unconditional love, right? You want to reach these nirvanic paradise heaven states, right? Or even just have more equanimity in your life, or just life being smoother. You're building these energetic muscles that can actually receive the state grace energy of those dimensions. You see what I'm trying to say? So we're trying to widen what your energy form can take. And it's very mechanical. It's very, the bigger you are, or the more receiving capacity you have, the more can flow through. Yeah? So, that being said, I have a note for folks who already work with guides, and then I have a note for people who this is entirely new. For people who are already working with their guides, aspects and facets of God, because I know that some people only want to directly work with source, and I'm like, that's valid. So when people have guides or these phases of aspects of the expression of the divine, these are kind of like step down transformers, and sometimes they're just more legible. Yeah. So sometimes, when you go to a museum and you're like, this art is powerful, but I kind of need a curator to help explain things to me. Yeah. Like a transformer. Electricity is too strong at source point. So you need a lot of channels, or a lot of teachers, actually, a lot of ascended masters or teachers are kind of step down transformers, actually, so that you could actually swallow that energy. So I really do, like, as someone who also sees themselves as kind of a teacher, I really respect needing that kind of transforming down like that ladder, like a staircase. Like that's pretty convenient. So for folks who already speak with guides, what I'm trying to offer to you is that I want you to try to reach for a guide energy that's a little bit higher than what you're used to, right? So for example, you already talked to, say, a flower energy, like a nature energy. What if you talk to a forest that flower energy you're talking to belongs to? Right? So I want you to summon like a crowd or like a bigger energy form behind that energy form. So for example, one of your guides is that you imagine talking to a grandfather who's like really wise and they have this very strong steward energy because they were in the military. Right. Okay. What if you meditated on the archetype behind that, like stewardship itself? Right? Or even the angelic guards. Yeah? Or even just for people who love math, just being a straight arrow up. Like, what about you just meditated on the axis of being straight and up? Like, just that posture. Yeah? So, what I'm trying to say here is that we kind of shift through our guides as we level up, right? So as we integrate these energies, you know how you have a training wheel when you're learning how to ride a bike, and then when you learn how to balance yourself, the training wheels come off? The thing is, what I notice with folks is that when they tap into an energy, like a teacher energy, right? Sometimes y'all get attached because it's like, oh my God, this archangel taught me this. And it's like, yeah, but what if your new situation needs a newer energy, or the energy you're meditating with is evolving into other phases of it, right? So for example, somebody who's devoted to divine feminine maybe was accessing her compassion and is shocked the next time when it's teaching her about anger. Maybe it's like a Kali energy, or maybe it's a death energy. Maybe it's an more of like a strong red Tara energy. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is that fluidity for things to shift is kind of what I'm trying to encourage. 'Cause the thing is, you can't stay in the same class. If you're staying in the same class, you're not picking up the lesson, is what I'm trying to say. If what Archangel Michael's teaching you is the same thing since last week, you're not picking up the lesson. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's cool that you're invoking him to like protect yourself and be strong, but if you keep using him as a crutch instead of I'm learning my balance, I'm learning to be strong, then maybe you're not gonna graduate from depending on him. So for folks who already use their guides, right? Tap into guides. Let me offer this thing where I need you to loosen up your sense of identity. Okay? You ever felt like you fell in love with a certain craft? So for example, me with dance, and you're like, oh, it's not me anymore. When I melt into the dance, I'm the dance. So you're bigger than yourself. Or for example, you're a mom or like a businessman who's like in love with their business. They say, I am the business. Or mom says that, no, I am also my family. As they're functioning as a mother, I am also my family. It extends. Their concept of self extends. Right? So I know that people with energies and spirits that you can't see get scared with the idea of, say, possessions or channelings, right? Oh my God, there's too much occult bullshit that's saying a lot of, that's misconstruing a lot of truths, right? What I'm trying to say is that when you love a form, so for example, Mama Mary, Jesus, right? You love them so much that they include that your concept of you includes them already, yeah, that Jesus flows through you, right? Then he is no longer a crutch. Jesus is in you. Christ is in you. You see what I'm trying to say? See what I'm trying to say? So there's that intimacy. There's that, it's no longer separate. So for example, for the mother, it's not I am taking care of my family. It's that, no, my family's me. So the way I take care of it is it's as if it's me, right? So what I'm trying to encourage here is that almost for your love to deepen, to include more. Yeah? In a sense that, and I know that some folks don't like the path of love too much, so I'm trying to be inclusive here in a sense that just widen your net of what you think is yourself. Right? So if all archetypes are within me, like the 12 zodiac archetypes, then I'm not just my natal chart, I'm all that is. And I'm like, yeah, yes. So when I'm invoking an archetype and I'm trying to integrate it in my body, I'm teaching my system to run this energy form. But when my love and sense of self expands, that is just me. Yes. That's what I'm gunning for everybody. So when I introduce you to an energy, it's almost like I want you to eat it. It's like I want you to eat it. Think of Ash Ketchum, and he's like catching Pokemon, and it's like every time you catch a Pokemon, it becomes your friend and it becomes family, and you carry it with you all the time, right? So there's that sense of a Pokemon master, like having all the Pokemon and then knowing how to care for them and then working with them in, your adventures. So that's kind of my thing in a sense that when you're introduced to, like, I feel like some people, when they meet a guide, an ascended master, there's this sense of reverence and respect, but the teacher-student code from factory schools is so strong that you kind of show up and act so tiny in front of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my god, it's Sandalphon, or like, oh my god, it's oh my god, it's Seraphim, it's a vision, shit, it's mad, there's this shrinking, which is not my goal, because I want y'all to expand. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is, when you meet these energies, yes, have reverence, have respect, but don't think that they don't want to work with you, or that you're somehow less, or that you're somehow less deserving or less ready. You are like this conscious, brilliant energy that they could sow so many possibilities with. Like, you're literally that facet of God which has no limit, right? They are so interested in you, right? And the thing is, these archetypes, these forms, so for example, unconditional love form of Jesus, right? It's so infinite that he really doesn't mind working personally with you. Because that's the thing, when you're on a dimension where you are infinite, y'all can multitask all you want, right? So you could ask for all you want. It's Santa Claus, baby. So that's kind of like my thing in terms of these energies, these invocations, these things that I'm not really telling you, but I'm really encouraging you to integrate. I'm bringing you to like Christmas, y'all, to buffet. And I want you to feast. Yeah? And I want you to eat, and I want you to integrate. Like, so when I say integrated awakenings, it's that you digested these energies and it's been incorporated into your blueprint, and you're masterful enough to operate that new body/fuel. That is my pitch for you. That is how I want you to see these things. So these transmissions of energies, they're like booster packs / like dextrose, vitamins, right? And then you get swoller, you get bigger, you get more expansive, you get more masterful, you get more fluid, you get more, any features that you kind of want to do on those planes. You see? Yeah? So for people who haven't met their guides, I'm kind of happy that you are listening to this podcast, because I feel like the way I talk about it is very much free. Like, it's freer than what most folks do. Like, some people kind of do more smokes and mirrors and mysticism, and I'm like, okay, this is how it works. This is what you do. And the thing is, so if you're new to this, what we're basically doing is inducting you into a level of receptivity and consciousness and restfulness, where you are willing to receive and communicate transmissions from an aspect of the divine that is a specialist to what you need. And I really do want to emphasize the specialist. So for example, we do a shadow archetype meditation, right? So the formation of the shadow guide for you, whether it's a wolf, whether it's a sister spider, whether it's a ghoul, whether it's like a black lady kind of thing, that is unique to your subconscious, to your energy form, and it's exactly what you need, right? So sister spider might be more about planning your whole death energy sequence, in terms of like, she's creating this beautiful web, right? It radiates from a circle. There's this planning energy to it, and almost like a patience to it. There's a weaving metaphor verb in her, right? Versus, say, for example, a beast, it's more, a little bit more testosterone coded, more about like your muscles, using it, being more vicious. Maybe you're bite, maybe you're drawn to biting the energy of someone's head off, because it's like, oh, you liar, you see how these archetypes all are specific to you, right? So what we're trying to do is we're accessing the part of you that is a perfect mirror echo of knowing what it needs. Yeah. And I know that some people are like, of course, that's obvious. I'm like, do you really accept that? Do you really notice how intelligent that is? That you have access to a system that can tell what it needs. And you have the capacity to ask for assistance, quote unquote, external assistance for what you need. I'm just saying. Because I feel like a lot of folks feel like guides happen to them, right? Like, it's like fate. Oh my God, my subconscious gave me a guide or a sign. And I'm like, yo, you could ask for one. Not just a sign, but what I meant is that if you're serious about integrating an energy or a blessing or a project, right? You could really, really just ask, in a sense that, oh, I really want to know how to guide my family more or guide my company more, right? And then I'm like, yeah, okay, tap into the angel energy or order energy, right? Because angels are assigned to order. Like, they're kind of like, they're very military in a way that they have hierarchies, and it's like they're assigned to this thing and that thing. So they're very, if there's something about like an order or organization kind of thing, there's usually an energy angel entity that's making sure everything's organized. Yeah. And you're like, can I talk to the manager? Can I talk to the manager angel? And you're like, okay, tell me about how to steward this group better. You see what I'm saying? So this is what I'm saying about, if you're open to the idea of subtle energy and reality, there are aspects, right, that you could always tap and consult and learn and expand into. Because essentially, for example, you're trying to love your company, you're trying to love leading it. You're talking to like the energy form of the company so that you know how to love it better. Kind of like when you're on a date and you're like trying to get to know a person, and it's like, I need to know, like, I need to do this better, right? So there's that's the exchange that's happening. You see what I'm saying? Now, okay, so let's get to it. I'll intro y'all to 3 types. So you can imagine that there's an infinite number of types depending on how good you are at setting up the question. And doors. I mean, you can open doors and stuff. But, okay. The first one we'll do is your personal guide. So this is like a PA, something that rests on your 7th, 8th star, who kind of just channels your personal soul to you and kind of just comprehends what's happening. These guardian energies tend to stay with you most of your life until you've really reached super mastery, where they're basically just dismissed because you're useless. So anyway, guide energy. Sometimes this can also be a mentor. So I'll do kind of fluid journey so that people who are like, oh, I already know my personal guide, can like tap into a teacher energy. Okay, that's the first one. The second one, I will do an elemental-mythic being that is willing to meet you. So I know that some folks are very enamored when I talk about dragons, fairies, and like the energy of the mountain. And folks who might be more skeptical might be, why is Maria personifying these energies? And it's like, okay, so the thing is, language is imperfect. Yeah. And the thing is, I find that when you simplify these energies with a generosity of knowing that that's not simply what they are. So for example, when I look at a river and I personify her as a woman who's like very innocent and open, I'm not saying she's only a woman. I'm just saying that archetype of a woman who's very open and very kind is like a close enough word to approach her energy. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is, your mental archetype, your form of language within your energy form is different from mine. Yeah. So maybe for you they're colors, maybe for you they are sounds, maybe for you they're like a bunch of sculptures. That's fine. Maybe they're a bunch of anime characters. That's fine. Language is very fluid but also fallible in a sense that you can't really capture their energy fully. So I do want you to fall into and radiate with the vibe rather than just the words. Yeah? Okay, so some people are gonna get impatient now. So we'll do mythic creatures, right? So these are just more mythic archetypes for folks who don't want to think that they're real. Okay. And then the last one, let's do like a shadow mentor. Yeah, so like the example I said a while ago, so sometimes they're animal guides. And then if you don't want a shadow mentor, because I know that some people are like kind of scared of that, I'm going to put an asterisk of this being more animal guides. Yeah, so plant guides? No, they want to do animal guides. Okay, so animal guides, so basically for folks who... So basically, the shadow folks will most probably get like a more animal coded kind of energy because of the intentions of the container. But, it's just an exercise. If it's like, oh, but I'm not processing anything shadowy right now. It's like, it's an exercise, hon. It's do you feel united with the animal kingdom? If not, okay. So that's why we said it's a realms tour. All right. Okay, so let's get to it. Some of this might feel too short for some folks. So if when I say that you're talking to the energy with as much time as you want, feel free to hit pause in this recording and be like, okay, I'm gonna sit in this energy and I'm not gonna listen to Maria walk me out yet. Yeah, that's fine. And then just sit as much time as you want, and then when you're ready, just press play. Okay, because I just kind of want to be efficient in terms of like me recording this as well. Okay, and I'm just trusting you in terms of like pausing and stuff. Okay, all right, let's start. Okay, the first one, let's do your personal guide. So other people refer to this as the guardian angel or a mentor energy. All right, so find yourself in a relaxed position. Some people want to be supine, sitting down. Stretch a little, make sure you get your neck. And I'm also feeling that most folks will need a few really, really deep breaths. So breathe in from like diaphragm, belly, and then breathe out 2, 3, 4. And feel like your out breath is kind of excavating everything that's kind of just tense about you. Something that's just not easy and like limiting. Just like inhale again. And then exhaling, removing anything that is tense, is kind of just not smooth, it's not easy, it's constricting. Just exhale that. Okay, and one last inhale, big breath, and then exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. That's nice. Okay, find yourself in your final position that you really like, and we'll shut down our external senses together and imagine little diases clicking off and then shooting down into your body. 1, 2, 3, 4, and every version direction command. 2, 3, 4, almost like a light dimming down or a sun setting into the ocean. 2, 3, 4, just allowing the day to shift into night. And for anything that's been married or too distracted of the external world, but just park it for a bit. Like, oh, okay, car, let's leave the car there for a bit, and then just dive down. And we'll dive down, see the little sunset, right? Sunset, and then it's nighttime. See the little ocean, see that little beach, and then just dive into this cool waters of your true self, right? Your expanded self, the self that doesn't need to act in an external world. Just slip into it and walk down a few steps, and each step just amplifies the energy in your own energy form, in a sense of, oh yeah, this is really me. And then we walk down 2, 3, 4, and I am saying this out loud so that you can do it with me. So it's not just happening with you, but you're also invoking within yourself. That's nice. 8, 9, 10. And then just see yourself just exploring the bottom of this beautiful, beautiful cradle of water. And feel yourself effortlessly breathe this energy of you in and out your system, through your bones, through your sinews. And it's just perfect, right? And I want you to find the bottom of the bowl that feels like the center, feels like a throne, feels like where your hips should really be installed. And I want you to almost crawl and turn very, very slowly and see your left hand assistant. Maybe also called your right-hand man. Just something that's always been so... You know how you can sometimes miss your nose because it's right on your face? So there's this energy that's so close to you. You barely notice it. It's on your shoulder, it's on your left side. And it's possibly hands width tall. And it's currently your guide energy and your mentor or your mentor energy. It could be as gentle as a bird, as a slow-moving fish. It could be craning its neck. It could be a gentle smile. It could just be peeking, like just looking over. Oh, that's the book, or that's the code, or that's the script that you are writing. And it's just these observant eyes. And I really want you to locate where this energy of watching, of witnessing you, of seeing you is sitting. Is it on your left? Is it near your right? Yeah. And I just want you to gently turn yourself around to meet it squarely, like in front of you. and just exchange gazes. See how they see you. Share a moment where you just feel their energy and don't even ask for anything, for advice, for assurance, for whatever. It's just feel how much they hold you by just seeing you, and allow yourself to be so deeply seen by the structure / mentor / guide energy. Yeah, and allow that seeing to penetrate each and every part of you, each cell, the air within you. Breathe it in, 100, 200. Just feel that guidance. Feel like you're being held and pinned in place by their gaze. And feel yourself pinned in place by their perfect gaze. And allow yourself to really melt and be held by this energy. And feel thousands of doors in your heart opening up, opening up, as this very clear invitation, prostration, willingness to be seen by their love and their guidance. And then just open, 1, 2, just feel your chest expand, 3, 4, allow them to really enter your space, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost like the energy is repatterning over you, 8, 9, 10, open up, open more, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can keep counting up and opening up more doors in every direction of your heart you could think of. You could bring this heart energy down your gut and install it in the base of your spine. You could really weave this energy in any part of your body where you feel like it's like, yes, this is where I need it most. If you need more time here, if you want more time to explore, you could pause this recording and do so now. If you have returned now, allow yourself to really wrap up everything that you've done. So maybe just smooth out all the edges, almost like you're finishing the backstitching of a beautiful rug, and just smoothing out like your whole energy form. And I want you to almost just cut a little bit of an umbilical cord, just a little snap of like your whole sewing process. And then just feel yourself be like, okay, it's done. It's done. I'm good. This guidance is in me. It's really installed in me. And then just see in the short distance 3 gentle steps out, and it enters to another door. And it's a door that leads to a glittering garden with a giant colorful tree in the middle. Okay? Walk out in 1, 2, 3. Notice if this new space has a different quality of air. Notice if you feel lighter or heavier here. Feel if you feel more like a different color is stronger here. So maybe it's like a pink or a purple. Maybe it's just this iridescent white, right? But just feel yourself approach this tree and feel its own power and energy emanate from itself. And I want you to keep, as you're walking towards it, to keep to keep relaxing and to keep yielding to it. Like very much, ooh, that which is so beautiful, that which is so radiant. I am so willing to just participate and just feel yourself just yield to it. Maybe you can picture yourself kneeling or hugging this tree, or simply sitting down and just tenderly putting your face and your head and your chin, neck on this perfect branch, and just feel yourself settle and melt into the heart of this tree, this brilliant, bright rainbow tree. And we allow this tree, this wisdom, to morph in 100 trillion, 200 trillion, 300 trillion, 400 trillion versions. And maybe shoots you up and shoots you down. Maybe it crawls you out a gentle flower leaf in one of its arms. Maybe it shoots you to its crown. Just feel where it leads you as a vein of its existence, and then see where you sprout. See where you go out. And as you go out, feel just the openness of being birthed out of this tree mother. And notice who greets you. Is it a curious bird? Is it a square face in the middle of the mud? Is it a gentle flower? Is it the buzzing of a unknown animal that you can't even name? Is it a beast so huge you don't understand its movements or how it even functions? Just feel yourself open up to this friend. And maybe this friend approaches you. Maybe it touches you sometimes, like the graze of a feather or its wandering gaze. You notice its texture, its color. And I want you to really just feel attuned to it. Imagine where their heart is or where their mind is. And feel your heart connect to their heart or your mind connect to their mind. And just feel those two forces just bend to each other and unite and weave and comprehend even beyond language. Yeah? In a sense that they transmitted visions, ideas, knowledge, ways of being that maybe supersedes what you thought was rational or ordinary. And just breathe and receive this energy that they're shooting either into your heart or into your mind. Allow this to shower within you in 100, 200, 300. Trust that this container allows you to meet only benevolent beings that are of perfect assistance to you. 5, 6, so you could really just fall into this waterfall of their grace. 8, 9, if there's anything uncomfortable, like there's this excess heat, excess energy, really just breathe out and imagine more space, more time, more allowance of just, yes, I could receive more actually. 9, 10, just see yourself expand and get bigger, deeper, and almost like the density of things. So think of like a RAM compressor going from 64 gig to 128 gig to quantum gig. See what I'm saying? So really just feel how, I have infinite memory. I could receive infinite wisdom as well. So don't stop the tide. Don't stop the transmission. And you can spend as much time as you want here. Pause this recording if you want to explore different depths to this energy. So you could see how this feels if you move the transmission down to your gut, down to your legs. You could have very gentle questions of like, how does this energy behave to this issue of mine, right? How does this energy feel about creating a miracle about this issue of mine? How does this spirit see my human relationship, my own creativity, my own burdens, right? You could give it a few gentle questions, but really focus on the transmission of energy and then really just amplifying it in your body space. Yes? Spend as much time here, and do note that depending on the energy you've met, that they could specialize on certain things. So, for example, a chimera or something that transforms into many things can talk to you about change, yeah? And something that is so iridescently beautiful or powerful can talk to you about beauty, can talk to you about true power. So also offer the question of, what can you teach me? And really be humble enough to listen. You can pause the recording here. And if you are, trust that you fully receive, integrate, weave down, settle down, like all your memory RAM is awake and is in full capacity and can really receive everything that's been moved and transmitted. Understand that whatever symbol sign that you are drawn to with this being, you could always call forth that color, that texture, that form, and you will feel easily connected to this energy form. Don't feel like it is something far or that is something that needs so much ritual for you to get to. It is easy, it is done. And then I want you to gently again move a little bit forward. Almost cut through the space and see there a hidden door, like a trap door. Maybe it's in front of you, maybe it's in the bottom of you, maybe it's behind you. Where's that trap door? Just feel for it in terms of your orientation. Is it on the right? Is it far off? It's a little bit closer. And then just slip through it. And trust that you come upon a more crackling version, animal version. Maybe it's a new environment. Maybe it's like a dark woods. Maybe it's a silent prairie. Maybe it's a picture book. And just notice if it's a dark story, like a dark fable picture book. Notice how the air changes. Notice how there's so much possibility pulsing in the shadow. So much energy too. And it respects you as much as you respect it. So offer something towards these things that you can't even see yet. And be like, I want to work with you. I specifically want to call forth an animal. Or I want to work with you. I want to see a being of truth laying in my shadows. Different calls, different buttons of the same function of an invitation. And then just really see them appear, slither forward. Maybe even try to surprise you for a little bit. And be very gentle with yourself. Don't try to rush. Just see their features. More importantly, feel their energy. Feel their potency. And witness it. Notice how they have it. Notice which parts of your body feel enlivened just by their presence. Is it your gut? Is it your sex? Is it your tongue? Is it your neck? Really just notice if you feel more drawn to crawl with them, to do a certain motion. Maybe it's a cutting motion, maybe it's a barking motion, maybe it's a kicking motion. Just see what kind of movement they teach you. What kind of moment, what kind of potency they teach you. And try to settle in that movement, that pose. To really try to comprehend and sit with their energy. If you're having a hard time feeling into a movement, simply welcome their energy into your gut. Allow it easy entrance, easy comprehension, easy receptivity too. In 1, 200, 300, 400. Almost like you're this cascading waterfall of receptivity. Yeah, it's like, I don't understand, but I trust. 8, 9, 10. If their forms change, if they talk differently, if you see other pictures that they display, just don't be so attached to understanding the whole thing. Just listen. 13, 14, good. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Be willing to participate if they ask you to move a certain way, think of a certain way, strategize a certain way, maybe do something a little bit differently. 29, 30, 31. Just consider it. Just consider it. Don't feel like it is being compelled out of you. You ask an invitation and they are your friend, and these are their ideas. 40, 41, 42, 43, and you feel the texture of their ideas, how potent it is, how different it is. 49, 50, how it might be something you're not used to, like new fuel, but okay, I think this is an interesting ingredient. 61, 62, 63. Keep receiving it down, bottom down, like a waterfall going down. 64, 68. If you feel like there are recesses in you that's like never been touched and blessed by anything that's so carnal, but alive, open those up too and be willing to receive from there. 71, 72, 75, 78, 80, 90, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is done. For folks who want to stay longer, who want to play around, who want to consult, like really long consultation in terms of, I'm thinking about this, thinking about that, you're free to pause. I do encourage you to listen more. For every time you ask a question, try to listen times 3 longer and deeper, and really check if you could widen, deepen, fullen, wholen your sense of this receptivity texture. See if you could just get a little bit deeper. Right? Okay, good. If you are done, right? If you are done, really trust that that's in you. It's planted really good, really deep, right? Trust that it unfurls perfectly. Trust that you will understand. Trust that you will remember. And gently turn around in your inner vision, just 180 degrees, right? And see this beautiful, beautiful gap, door, window Yeah. And just rise up to it. Float up to it. Maybe there's a few steps to it. Maybe there's a ladder. And then just go out easily 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's like, and you've just jumped out. Right? And as you just move your limbs, like your fingers, the tips of your toes, just gently rock yourself out and gently flicker your eyes open. And yeah, okay, good, you're back. See, you met 3 guide energies. Yeah. And they are mostly energies that you're still well, I did my best to invite the energies that are you're still incorporating and still needing, still exploring. Do journal, do take notes, do whatever is the method that you best ground these energies. Yeah. And again, like how I explained it, union is when these energies no longer need to be externalized away from you. They are you. I know that this might be putting the cart before the horse a little bit, but for folks who really need to be reminded of their mastery and their creator energy, I do have to say that these guides are facets and aspects of the divine, which is you. Right. So if you feel like, oh, isn't this just me talking to me? And I'm like, yeah. Did you notice how wise you were? Did you notice how different your texture is from usual? Isn't that great? Isn't that so expansive? Right? Yeah. But honestly, I do want to say that as somebody who trapezes a lot of these realms, there is such a thing as your soul. Yeah. There is such a thing as soul groups, soul families, and these entities, right? These guardian energies, these different textures. So for example, mythical beings or like animal guides, they come from other sources. Yeah, so some of them could be very familiar because they're coming from your soul group, or they could be new teachers, but might be specialists in terms of, oh, they're really perfect for your specific situation. Yeah, so really just be flexible in terms of welcoming in. Yeah, it's kind of like when you're the chef and you're like, I am the kitchen. Yeah, don't feel too really just loosen what you think is you, right? So when you're doing a project and when you're acting, right? When you're doing your vacation, or you're doing a difficult conversation, invoke a guide. Invoke the group guide, invoke your shadow guide, invoke the divine feminine, group work that shit out. Because they are you too. If Ash went out in the Pokemon world, never throwing out a Pokemon when he needed help, is he really a Pokemon master? See what I'm saying? So if you really are spirit and you are mastery of spirit, if you've never evoked any spirit, did you really master anything? You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? So I really encourage everybody to invoke more. Because they are you. Yeah, they are you. They want to help you. They, in a certain level of reality, they're you, okay? So use them. And awaken to all of yourself. Like capital self, not your baby persona ego self. Like a little frustrated teenager who's like complaining about everything. No, I want you to invoke like the most magical, mystical, dope, potent aspects of you, and really try to bring it forward, right? Yeah. So I know that you've probably already gotten a lot in terms of like those journeys. But just for the folks who want to do a bit of extracurricular, lol. For folks who want to do a bit of extracurricular, try to do a journey where you embody that spirit more. Like, think, instead of having a 50 and you're talking to them, try to see them imbibe you to an 80. So for example, you're talking to a phoenix and it's talking about rebirth. No. Sit in the phoenix and then feel how it does a rebirth. Nothing like experience to teach you, right? So instead of talking to like the wolf, right, that hunts, go into the wolf, like maybe an 80-90%, right? And then experience its hunt. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's like a mini... I know some people really misconstrue the idea of possession. It's more like entrainment. It's more of like you're aligning via vibe. Okay, so for people who want to do extracurricular, I want you to try aligning super deeply into at least one of your guides. And then have like a demo of what they're doing. Yeah, and then see that, holy shit, I did that. Right? Holy shit, I understand the process now deeper. Now I get it. Right? It's like really sitting in the inner truth of that archetypal energy, of that guide's energy, that aspect of the divine's energy, and understanding it from the inside instead of trying to rationalize and study how that happens. No, go into it. Like, be a seed and go into the middle of it, and then witness, experience, right? Okay, yeah. This is extracurricular because I'm not gonna guide you into doing that. You just do it. You ask the guide, I want to be able to do the thingy that Maria said. And then you're like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, great, I love it. Assignments. So see y'all next week. I'm gonna discuss a little bit about polarity, sexuality, and then talk about divine union finally. So yeah, that's it for today. If you want to personally work with me to get you to expedite your integration of your divine energies, divine aspects, lost aspects, fractured aspects, damaged, traumatized aspects. If you want to just make that easier in terms of like, because these inductions are kind of general in a sense that I am tapping into the energy of the group of the listeners. But if you want it to be tailor fit and really focused to what is ready for you, just book a session with me one-on-one. And yeah, if you found this helpful, kindly forward it to your friends, your family, anybody who's like, I need this. Yeah, okay, you send it to them. And that's it. Ciao.